I'm Dave Newman, and I'm very excited about helping you achieve financial independence. Now, anyone who wants to achieve financial independence must decide on a long-term investment strategy. So what is the best long-term investment? Let's look at a few investment options. First of all, there are stocks, which are investments in the equity of large companies. There are bonds, which are essentially loans to companies or governments. There's gold or precious metals, and there is real estate. You might notice here I'm not including such things as bank accounts, money markets, or CDs, because they're really not investments, they're just a way of holding money temporarily. I'm also not talking about annuities or life insurance policies, because they're really not investments of themselves, even though they might have some underlying investments. Now let's look at some of the features of these investments. Appreciation is how much the investment goes up in value. Cash flow is the regular income you might receive from the investment. Leverage is using other people's money to improve the investment. It can also increase risk, so it's important to talk about relatively safe leverage. Tax advantages are important because it's very frustrating to make money in an investment only to have Uncle Sam grab a piece of it before you can reinvest it. Another thing that steals your money is inflation. This is even more important these days with governments printing more money than ever before. Finally, we'll discuss how much ability you have to control the investment or affect its outcome. Now, starting with appreciation, stocks generally can have decent appreciation. Bonds can appreciate if interest rates go down, but that's generally not why you buy them. Gold or precious metals can also appreciate, but in a long-term sense only really during inflation. Real estate is definitely bought for its appreciation potential. Moving down to cash flow. In general, stocks do not have very much cash flow, but they do sometimes have quarterly dividends. These dividends tend to be quite small, and in the few cases where the dividends are large, you really don't get the appreciation. Bonds are generally purchased for their cash flow, and they produce regular, usually quarterly income. Gold has no cash flow, but real estate has cash flow in the form of rents received. This cash flow is generally paid monthly and is often higher than some of these other investments. Moving on to leverage. It is possible to leverage stocks, bonds, and even gold, but it's quite risky and not really a good long-term investment strategy. Real estate, on the other hand, is often leveraged, and leverage here can greatly improve your investment gains. Let's look at taxes. If you invest your stocks and bonds in a 401k or IRA, you can defer taxes on the gains until you're ready to retire. This can be good or bad depending on your situation and the tax environment at the time. Gold has no tax advantage. With real estate, there are multiple tax advantages possible, and I will mention those in later videos. I think by now you can see where I'm going with this. But let's move on to inflation protection. Stocks generally do better during inflation unless you have stagflation, which basically is a combination between inflation and a really poor economy. Bonds don't do so well during inflation. Gold, on the other hand, is really bought as an inflation hedge. But the problem with it is that it just tracks inflation, so that your buying power never really increases. Real estate, on the other hand, tracks inflation, but it also can be leveraged, which then gives you a higher return than the inflation amount. Finally, let's look at control. There's really nothing you can do to improve your investment with stocks, bonds, or gold. But with real estate, you are in the driver's seat and you can improve your investment. For instance, you can change a carport into a garage or make improvements on the property. You have control. I hope by now you can see why I think there is no better long-term investment than real estate. I'm Dave Newman. Stay tuned for more financial advice. Visit my website at realestatewealth.us.